Good morning. It is Thursday, October 6th, and this is my coffee. Thursday, hang on a second. October 6th, and this is my coffee. I had my monitor with the volume up, so here I am. I could use a shave. I've been severe, but here I am. Actually, I look better than I sometimes do on a Saturday morning marketing Smarty show. What am I doing? I'm having a coffee break and sharing it with you. And there's no setup protocol. There's no specific itinerary, but I use these every once in a while to kind of vent. Among other things, I vent and I also comment on things that I think are important. And so to get them out of the way to start with, this is a couple days away from the Smarty show, and I will have the event posted soon. And I will be featuring both Molly Youngblood Geiger and Karen V. Chin, because they're both in and out of Google events this week that were most profound. And so I want to get basically a report from each of them. And I know that Karen, for one, has a photo montage and a series of videos that she's collected, and she will be offering those up. We can't watch the videos live probably during the broadcast, but she'll give you the access points to show you bits and pieces about her journey on one day with Google as they presented new products made by or developed by Google. So that'll be interesting. And Molly just went through a 3-day affair and was flown to this congregation of people, 500 plus people of all Googlers around the world, and she participated in a very special event. So we're going to give our Googlers the day to tell about their experiences and maybe plot out some future episodes to focus on some of the micro subjects that they bring up. So that's one of the first things that's going to be very positive and is going to affect the Saturday morning Marketing Smarty show. But that's part of the good vibration news coming down the pipe. And I also have another bit of potentially really good news, and that is that I'm going to be engaging with my son to possibly develop something for Google Hangouts. And I won't get into it too much right now. Sorry, I'm coughing up frosted shredded wheat that I had for breakfast. When you eat shredded wheat, there are little tiny pieces of hard cereal soaked in milk. And it fractures down and gets all over the place. And all it takes is a little tiny piece of something getting in my throat, and it'll make me cough all for an hour, so I'll have to put up with that a little bit here. That's why I have a coffee. But anyway, I'm asking Kyle to do some research, and we're experimenting to bring the Google event pages that we lost because of the shift from Google Plus Hangouts on air to YouTube Live Hangouts on air. We lost the event page, and it just went away forever, and then we cannot retrieve that, and that's a done deal. But we haven't been able to find a better experience free. So the couple of things that we're trying to solve is to come up with a good experience for our viewers, that we have interaction with them and can feature the people in the audience. And all these things are contingencies, and we don't have any easy way to do it at all because the event pages went away. So we're gradually piecing it back together and coming up with some ideas, but nothing seems perfect. And it's like we're doing multiple leaps through hoops and backflips to try to make these things happen. So maybe Kyle and I might be able to come up with a solution. So we'll see what we can do. More on that later. Plus, my associate in Mobile, WeWake, is working on a system or two that may also help out the concept of hangouts and events and stuff like that. So he's working hard on that too. And among the several of us working on that, we might have some really good answers in the next coming weeks, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on with that. So the coffee break, that's my coffee break today. And now you're wondering, I wonder how long a broadcast is going to be. Well, it could be half an hour, it could be 45 minutes. I don't know yet. But I wanted to bring up a few things that I have in my email. And email pretty much bugs me because everybody's talking about, oh yeah, you have to have an email campaign. You have to build your email list. And they work out the numbers, and if they focus on the numbers of how many people you can cram on your list. And Brian Kramer came up last week and said, yeah, you know, in 30 days, I built my email list of X number of thousands of people on it. And I thought, sure you did, but you're well known in San Francisco. You've got the fastest growing internet marketing firm, maybe in the nation, certainly in San Francisco. And of course, you know people. Of course, people are going to opt into you. You have an established following, and you ask people to sign up for something, boom, you've instantaneously got an email list. But that is not the case with the rest of us. We're lucky to get a few opt-ins or maybe a couple dozen or something like that. So our situation is different. And the one thing, it's building your list is good either way, but you should not build unexpected, or what I should say, unrealistic expectations. And my brain locks on terms once in a while. But okay, let's look at my email. A few things that bug me. Maybe I'll just share my email list. It is interesting because, for one thing, I've subscribed to a service called Thumbtack. Not that I think Thumbtack is the end all, but I do it mainly for the reason of being able to see what the market is requesting of us providers. And so, for one thing, Joe Vitale, the law of attraction man, is always selling me something. One of the reasons that I don't read most of these emails anymore is every time I open it up, it's like, here you go. You lose access tomorrow. Okay, in other words, you're trying to sell me something and I lose access to this. You're doing the takeaway clause. Oh my God, I'm missing out. And then you're tempted to at least open the email. And I know this system works, but I don't believe in it much. I don't like the thriller fear takeaway. Let's get rid of that. Wistia, no. Team Wistia, no. Okay, so I've got some emails here. And one thing you'll notice if you look through my emails is that I've got all these Thumbtack inserts there from emails from Thumbtack. Emails from Thumbtack. Taylor needs e-commerce. Anthony needs video editing. Now, the video editing thing is coming on really strong right now because a lot of people are moving to video and they think, yep, I got to have a video on my website. I got to have a video online. I've got to have a YouTube video developed. But the thing about it is, people are saying, I need this stuff, but they don't know what they need. They don't know. They want to emulate something that they've seen, but they haven't really worked out the details on how they're going to take this concept that they saw and extrapolate it out so it makes sense for their business and their products and services. And this, you know, so when someone comes out to me and says, I need video editing, I've got this project, I've got this, I've got that, I've got the footage, I've got this is what I want to do. Then the first thing that I would do is I basically say, okay, what is your company's name? What are your products and services? Are you going to support your clientele? And what purpose does this video serve? And then when we start asking questions, I come to the conclusion that usually that these guys have the wrong idea. They are completely off base. We'll produce this video for them, and it's not gonna work. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but the main thing is that I steer people back to is that you have to figure out what you're trying to accomplish before you ask for help doing something. Okay, let's see the other thumbtacks. Danny needs web development. Okay, usually that's a reasonable starting point. MJ needs video editing. Okay, another video. Anthony needs video editing again. It's the same Anthony. Let's see. So when people sign up for use there, and then we're supposed to go back to them with a quote. I can't quote people on Thumbtack because I don't know enough about what it is they're in need of. And I know that it's going to take an hour's conversation before I can even tell them what they need. And on top of that, be able to give them an approximate quote on what they need. A very small editing job I just quoted the other day, about $400. A really, really discounted job. And I don't believe in doing that normally. But, you know, when you get to know somebody and they're starting out in business, and I just want a couple-minute video. I'm on my own. I have no budget. Of course, nobody has a budget until they know what they need. As soon as you know you need something, then you start expanding your budget, right? I mean, if you really have to have a new microphone, you find a way to get the money and buy a new microphone or headset or monitor or a laptop or whatever it is, a new phone. You know, if you do that, if you have to do that, you have to do it. And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, I can't afford it, but I'm going to buy it anyway. So, oh, guess what? It was in your budget after all. You know, but people convince themselves it's not in their budget. But the thing is, it probably should be in their budget, and they probably should be reasonably focusing on the concept of the expense and calling it an investment if it improves their business outreach. So I don't know, it's a kind of a skewed concept, and it's weird, but you have to consider the money you expend on internet marketing or the tools of the trade are not part of an expendable budget. They are investments in what you're doing. And so invest in yourself, set yourself up right, and start getting some good results and change your vibration from I can't to I can. And more than that, I will. And then eventually you get to the point where it's like, I am doing this. I am the person that I want to be. I am presenting my company properly, and so forth. So one of the things that I ran into in my emails, this is actually from yesterday, was a company presenting on the company is called Content Marketing Institute. They're pretty bright, I gotta admit. And I read their articles pretty regularly. And they produce this PDF on 36 essentials of content marketing. So content marketing is a really big subject right now. And it should have always been maybe the biggest subject, because the content on what your strategy and what your marketing, how you're presenting your company is the face of what people see on their monitors or their telephones or their laptops and their tablets. The content marketing is everything that you're putting out that is of value to anybody anywhere. And that includes paper printed stuff, and that includes the billboard signs on the side of the freeway if you do that. But content marketing is everything that you create, not just the verbiage that you develop, not just the videos, it's everything. So in the content marketing strategy, it's like a link to your brand, it's linked to your primary focus as a company. it's linked to your services and products, and it is developed to convey that you are of value and that you are trustworthy and honest, and that people can invest themselves in you and be safe and be confident that they're going to get dollar for dollar what they deserve when they put their money out. So this is a pretty decent. I'm giving them my endorsement that if you want to read content, look at this this company, the Content Marketing Institute, because they're pretty good. So the article itself is, of course, a couple dozen pages or so, or 10 or 15 pages. But they had some really interesting snippets that I wanted to bring out to everybody. And I'm going to skip their basic intro because it's just mainly a sales pitch on why you should read their stuff. So we get to this checklist, and if you want this, I'll forward it to you. You're welcome. It's a PDF. But anyway, they have a plan for innovation. And why I found this interesting, because their plan for innovation, well, it's explained better later on, so I'll cover it later. And then they have a case for content marketing, the case for well, let's see, persona development and content mapping. A lot of good, interesting angles to what they're talking about, but reasonably so. Before the basic list of on the checklist is done, they get to the bottom of this and it says channel plan. And channel plan basically is like, okay, Facebook is a channel, and Google Plus is a channel, YouTube is a channel, etc. You know, Instagram is a channel, Pinterest is a channel. So any focused place, environment that is going to support the concept of you promoting your business, that is a potential channel for your marketing. So one of the most interesting things that I heard them report here or suggest that you're supposed to ask yourself, well, let's read a few of them. So, what do we all, and this is the first one here. So they're asking, what do we already have that helps tell our story? So in other words, do you have a website? Do you have a blog? Do you have a video, a YouTube channel? What do you have? And so what's already in the works, then it goes on to this, like, how are you going to enhance the story or change what you're doing? So it's like the next question you ask yourself here is, what must change for us to tell the story? And so maybe to tell the story or to tell the story better, maybe you're just improving your campaign. But the next question really was interesting to me. And it basically is asking the question, come on, let's highlight. I wonder why this won't highlight. Okay. It says, what must stop, if anything, for us to tell this story? E.g., or in other words, do we need to stop using Facebook and divert our energy to a blog? And that was interesting to me because it kind of speaks from the corporate headset or the mindset, and tells us what a corporation, how they deal with decisions and how they adjust their thinking. They're up on the top end. When I say they're up on the top end, it's like the decision makers in the company. They're up in the top, looking at their overall strategy, which probably 80% of it they do not understand. They're just having someone else manage it for them while they manage the company. And they're looking at this going, do we need to stop doing Facebook and just divert our energy to a blog? Yeah, right. Let's stop what doesn't seem to be working and do something else. And they're going to experiment around and change and change and change and never see the roots of the development of any one thing. Now, first of all, maybe many people, or most, I don't think it's most, I think it's some actually, are starting to realize that your marketing outreach is a combination of many things. And sometimes you're going to leverage one thing more than another, or spread yourself around pretty equally. But it's many things. No matter what you do, it's more than one thing. It's not just a website. It's not just social media. It's not just a video channel. It's all three and more. And then it's the strategy with which you use these things that produces a syndication of effort that makes your business outreach and your campaign for marketing either effective or not. And when they come along and say, well, maybe we should stop using Facebook and just do a blog, well, then how do you replace the interaction of all the masses of people that were on Facebook talking about your company? How are you going to recreate that with your blog? Well, you could recreate some of it, but you're not going to turn your blog into a Facebook. So obviously, if you're using Facebook and you get any kind of response, there's a possibility of increasing the response and increasing the engagement. And any engagement is good. And so you can't just ignore Facebook because you think you're not getting an ROI. And later on, this company addresses the concept of ROI very, very well. So we're going to move on to that in a second. But I thought that was interesting, just to realize how their checklist here addresses really the corporate mindset and is not very 2016-ish, if you excuse the expression and the terminology there. So the questions are good. How are our specific goals, or what are our specific goals for each channel? How do we map each channel? So forth. There's some good questions, and they're worth being looked at. Then they have lists of questions that you can address. But from the get-go, these are the things that I ask right from the start, like, what challenges are you trying to solve? In other words, what problem do you solve for the viewers, your customers, your visitors? You decide what problem of theirs are you solving? And that's one of the first things I learned to ask when I'm considering a web campaign is you got to solve a problem. What's the problem you're solving? In other words, what value are you to the public? And then this is an interesting one. What is the risk if you fail? Well, for one thing, if you fail, what do they mean by that? I'm not sure. But I mean, if you fail, are they talking about your campaign being a poorly designed campaign? Or are they talking about your product being so poor that you don't solve people's problems? I don't know. But either way, it was an interesting concept. So down below that, we have some articles here, or sections of the article, and the business case for content marketing. One of the things that they said here that I thought was very interesting, and I thought, basically, I don't know why more companies don't get this. Now, whether they get it or not, I'm not sure, but they did bring it up, and so I'm going to make it very much highlight. I would have made this really, really bold. The statement says, it's important to note, the business case is not ROI. Trying to pin ROI on content marketing is a bit like saying, what's the ROI on your telephone system? I mean, I think that's brilliant, because what is the ROI on your telephone system? Well, hell, I can't put an ROI on that. I need it because everybody I talk to on the phone. And you think, no, I can't do without the phone. It's an absolute bottom line must have. I mean, yeah, I've got a website, but if people can't call you, you might be out of business. Now, in my case, it's not just the telephone. The telephone's important, but it's not the primary thing. Internet communications and chat and video communications and video calls, those are the ways that I connect with my people in expression and in business contacts and in development, in camaraderie, and also collaboration. I do it all on video calling. So, I mean, it's not even the telephone, but the point that they're making is you can't pin ROI on the basic fundamental way you connect with your people or you have a communication system. And so the case for business ROI Um, regarding content marketing is you have to do it. And it is not a matter of like, you wrote this article, did you make any sales from that? No, because the objective of an article from a blog or a video log or anything that you put on the internet is to get people talking about your business and then eventually wanting to talk to you and then eventually wanting to inquire more about the value of what you had to present. And then the closure, the conversion, the return on investment, the ROI, is when they say, look, I'd like to sample your product. Or look, I'd like to buy in at the minimum level. And in some cases, someone says, I want to buy in at the highest level option you have because I love what you sell. So the main thing though is none of these things will happen without the client, the customer, potential client, getting an education and being able to talk to you. Ta-da! So when you talk about ROI, if you put out content marketing and the boss upstairs is asking, what's the return on investment on this? What am I getting out of it? How do I justify the expense of doing this? You probably lost the game already because the corporate mindset is, well, it doesn't seem to be working, so stop doing that completely and change from Facebook to the blog. We'll redirect all our resources there, and then you better make that pay off. And then you have the case of, I can't do that if we drop Facebook altogether, because when I write the blog, I promote it in Facebook and blah, blah, blah. And then the frustrated man upstairs starts saying, well, do something, dang it, because it's not working. Whatever is not working, I'm not getting a return on my investment. And that's my rant for the day on ROI. Social media, sorry, I swallowed wrong. Social media marketing is not about the return on investment to be measured in standard metrics. Social media engagement and the return on the investment of time you spend in that is the growing of your brand and an expansion of the education for the people who are interested in your product, and getting more brand awareness and getting more product awareness and getting into the conversation. And that is what the return is. When you start developing your community that's talking about you, it will equate to sales if you make yourself available. But if you're not part of the conversation, you're probably not worth buying in the first place. So when we say content marketing, of course, we got to start off with, is my product worth buying? So hopefully you guys will take that into consideration. Anyway, this is we're not even halfway through the article, but it is a pretty good article, and I encourage everybody to take a look at that and do that. Okay, so that's about it for today. Let's see if there's anything else in my email. Not much. I'm gonna have to delete Joe Vitale's lose access to it, because whatever I'm losing access to, I didn't know before the email came. I don't need it now. So it's very interesting anyway. I do read the digital trends and a few things. So that was interesting. But this is after I've already deleted about 75 emails off of this morning's incoming in my inbox. So I'm going to stop sharing here. So it's an exciting world, a lot going on, but I can't really rant and rave like this in my show. I could, but I don't know that anybody wants to show. And I have an obligation to the Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties to keep my head focused on the subjects that I believe that they want to hear. And this program, it's not really even a program, it's a coffee break with me. But this program is all about me diffusing and pressure release and just turning the valve a little bit and letting the steam come off and actually being able to smile a little bit about how I feel about the world in the world of internet and marketing. And so I had fun doing it, and I hope you enjoyed the brief moment. If you catch this in replay, and I don't know why you would, it's Roland and his coffee break. It might be just Roland's coffee break. It might be not be. I mean, the title is Coffee Break with Roland, but if you don't show up, there's no with Roland. There's just Roland. So thanks for spending some time. If you did, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon. Roland signing off from Internet Mobile R&D Hotline and the show host from Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. See you Saturday. Bye-bye.